All right. Hey guys, I'm back again. This time to review Avengers: Age of Ultron. Just got out of the movie and wanted to record my thoughts on it real quick before. Oh, please don't do the Facebook thing. Okay. At any rate, uh, where to begin? This movie it wasn't a bad movie. Not by any means. It's just frustrating because I know it could be better than what it was. And I really think that Joss Whedon kind of really didn't give a crap anymore because he knows he's on his way out the door. Um, honestly, there were some really weird decisions made in this movie, and I'll say that. Um, allow me to elaborate and to warn you ahead of time. There are some spoilers ahead. Okay, here we go. First and foremost, I liked the character dynamics for the most part. I thought that everybody interacted pretty well. There was some pretty good chemistry and whatnot. It's just there were some cases where I think it was kind of awkward. Some of the line deliveries, it's like you can tell this thing was not filmed in order. Like the editing is kind of weird and done in such a way that you know some of these actors went back in and like either reshot these scenes later or what have you. You there's also the how do I say it? It's just really awkward. I mean, uh, War Machine, Don Cheadle, when he's delivering some of his lines at one point in the movie, it sounds kind of squeaky almost. At one point, when Cat's fighting Ultron on top of a semi, he gets knocked off and hits the window in the hood, and I really think that they might have actually forgot to insert the sound effect there because it's like way off. In terms of audio, it's like you don't even hear anything. And I get that there's a lot of loud stuff going on, but you'd think that the Foley artists would have caught that, and I'm not sure how they didn't. Um, and honestly, okay, oh, God. I really liked Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I thought they portrayed them very well. That is a very accurate representation of Quicksilver's speed, unlike what happened in Days of Future Past, where they broke him to the level of the Flash, where he was not moving fast, but rather almost stopping time. Um, I mean that was Quicksilver in terms of his powers and even a bit of his attitude, but um, where I thought they really shone and what I thought they did extremely well was Vision. The way they brought him to life was perfect. I mean, he was like right out of the book, exactly who he's supposed to be. And there's also the seeds of being kind of conflicted that he's neither really man nor machine. There's stuff in there that looks to be really good. Um, and I really hope they do a lot more with him and kind of explore that in the future. But again, spoiler warning: the fact that there's the Infinity Stone in his head, you know he's gonna die. Come Infinity War, he literally has to die. Thanos is gonna rip that right out of his head. Has to. Literally has to. Um, so that's actually kind of depressing. But Hawkeye definitely loved the way he was portrayed in this movie. Definitely loved the way he was portrayed in this movie. I love too how they reference the. They're aware that it's a running joke that Hawkeye is just the guy who shoots arrows, and they kind of play on that. But they do it in a way that makes him seem all the more heroic for it. It's like I've said about a lot of characters in various superhero media and everything, and with people with superpowers. Sometimes, honestly, the bravest guy out there is the one who goes out there without being as powerful as all the others, just because he knows that he can't stay behind and do nothing. Hawkeye, for all intents and purposes, was actually kind of the Krillin of the group, to borrow a DBZ reference. And honestly, that's why it strikes me how people can look at that and be like amazed, and then look at the other and think, ha ha ha, funny joke, you suck, etc. I don't know. I'm glad the character dynamics being appreciated. Now, if we could work on it being recognized more, that'd be great. But anyway, seeing his family was interesting. Definitely awesome. It's kind of cool that he kept that off the grid, which I kind of expected. But I mean, he definitely enjoyed his private life. But and I believe they actually did pull that out of the Ultimate Comics too. But it works in this case, and it worked really well for the film dynamic. But the one thing that really bugged me, wait, I'll get to that in a second. I also want to kind of cover Ultron, because Ultron was weird. He managed to produce some menacing moments and everything. It's just that his voice. And I know people are going to get mad about this, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, because it's James Spader, and he's a great actor. He may be a great actor, but he's definitely not a good voice actor. I'll say that. A lot of his lines came out flat, and I know people are going to argue, oh, he's a machine. He's pretty capable of showing emotion, as you see in the film. And the fact that he is supposed to be showing emotion and yet doesn't seem to be showing that emotion, I don't know. It's just a really weird direction, and I don't like the delivery. I just don't like some of the line delivery. Some of it was great, like that exchange he had with Vision. That was perfect. The final one, but other times it's just really flat and kind of dull and lifeless. Samuel L. Jackson, seeing him again as Nick Fury was great. That was awesome. And I'm kind of glad they didn't actually spoil that in any of the trailers I saw, because that was actually a very nice surprise. Hulk versus Hulkbuster was pretty cool, but there again, you can kind of feel like some of the lines were like redone later or something, or done in a rush, because some of Robert Downey Jr.'s delivery is just kind of awkward in that scene. It's specifically with the whole, the back moment, that was awkward. I don't know. I just did not feel, it felt forced, really. But speaking of forced, the big problem I had, again, Whedon was on his way out, and I think that he saw this as his opportunity to kind of include some stuff from there that normally he wouldn't have gotten away with. Which is why he also had the audacity to, despite the insistence of literally everybody at Marvel Studios, come out in an interview right before the movie came out and say, oh yeah, by the way, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't in the MCU, and I made sure to ignore everything about it in this movie. Like some sort of vindictive jackass. God, I'm sorry. But one of the things I don't like about Whedon, I'm sorry. Honestly, this is one reason I'm glad to see him gone. I'm glad he's not directing Infinity War. And that is this whole thing with Banner and Natasha just comes out of nowhere. Like, they have an interesting exchange in the first movie, but nothing to indicate romantics at all. Nothing. Not a thing. And yeah, she's essentially flirted with everybody, but she didn't even flirt with Banner, really. I mean, the whole reason she was approaching him in that manner was to try to keep him calm, and then, oh god. I don't know. It really seems like he just kind of pulled this out of thin air. And like he ships it or something, and so he wanted to stick it in the movie somehow so that nobody can undo it, because now it's part of the MCU canon. And it feels forced as all hell. It's awkward. The exchanges are awkward. Took me right out of the movie. I was actually cringing in the theater, and I wasn't the only one. And that's the thing. It just felt so weird. I don't know. I was not fond of that at all. Overall, um, Aaron Taylor Johnson was great. Elizabeth Olsen was great. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye was terrific. Cap kicked some major butt and, got to answer a few questions about himself. Stark got to see, we kind of got to see a bit of Tony Stark's dark side, which I think is probably going to come into play in the next movie. Well, not the next movie, but, Civil War. I don't know. Thor actually has my interest the most in this movie, honestly, in terms of future setup and what's going to happen. And seeing the new inductees to the Avengers roster was pretty cool too. For those who don't know, I don't know if I should leave. No, I'm not going to spoil that. You'll be surprised and yet not surprised when you see who's inducted at the end. But if I had to give this movie a rating overall, I'm honestly going to have to just stick with an 8 out of 10. It was good, and it was really enjoyable, and some of the choreography was just incredible, but it just really felt like, I don't know, Whedon tried too hard with some stuff, or didn't try hard enough with others because he knew he was gone. I don't know. It just frustrates me because I really liked it and I wanted to really like it, but it just wasn't as good as it could have been. Definitely still worth seeing though. So go ahead, go see it, see for yourself. At any rate, that is it for tonight, and I will catch you guys later. Adios.